welcome to my LCS Power Rankings as we head into week 2. Obviously, I don't title this by the weeks, like I said last week. If you missed the video, not everyone's on the same page when it comes to weeks. The LEC are on week 6, LCK, LPL are on week 4, and the LCS are on week 2. Sorry, LPL and LCK are on to week 5. So, I'm doing this by date for now for the LCS until we get to midway through the split, and then I will probably go back to the regular titling format. I do this for all 4 major regions, kind of like I just said. LPL, LCK, and LEC all are out. Tomorrow the LCS returns to play, so that's why I do them on Thursday. We'll start with 10th place, CLG. So, CLG's 10th, disappointing. But I don't really know how disappointed I can be. When you look at the roster does look thrown together. At the last minute, it doesn't look very good. And they're losing. They stink. And unfortunately, Luger and Poom aren't carrying them like we thought they would. That was the only bright spot on their team. And it's not working. Lost to Golden Guardians in a super long game. And then lost to Dignitas as well. You can't lose to teams in your wheelhouse like Golden Guardians and expect to move up in the rankings. 9th place, TSM. It's unfortunate. I said it earlier in the week to somebody in the comments. TSM are a team that on paper, you can't. They should be better than 9th place. They shouldn't be losing to FlyQuest and Golden Guardians in the same week. That's embarrassing for an organization that should be in the top half of the league. But Kaidio and Shenyi are 2 very young players that you have to wait on and just see if over time they can improve. Spring Split, I didn't expect them to be a top team, but I also did not expect them to be this bad. And it's pretty much already at a point where it's like, well, we might as well throw away spring and look at summer. And hopefully this team gets better over time, week to week. Shenny was extremely aggressive this past week, and it backfired on him multiple times. And 8th place, IMT. IMT is a team that should be better than how they've performed so far. Obviously, this is the only game they've won all year so far, is the 100 Thieves match on Saturday. Followed that up, losing to C9. PoE is not really doing a lot. He really isn't. He's kind of like, really, I'm not noticing that much. I noticed Wild Turtle a bit this weekend, but even then, I'm not noticing him much. Really, nobody's showing up. Like, those 2 carries, one of them has to show up in these games. Xerxes doing what he can, but I think one of them has to do something every week. And then, not only that, I think Destiny is not that good of a support. Should be looking elsewhere for support. I don't believe their academy support's any better, so they should be looking to improve that position because that's holding them back, too. PoE and Wild Turtle should be good enough to get you into the playoffs, and right now, I don't think that's the case, especially after this past week when Golden Guardians took care of business. Now, I say this relatively, take this with a grain of salt. Golden Guardians, yes, they took care of business, like I just said. They beat 2 teams in their wheelhouse. They beat these guys. They have to beat those guys. These 4 teams are all kind of in the same boat right now. So, when they win games against these guys, that's important. And then you have the Pride Stalker, which he picked Zed this weekend. You have the Pride Stalker factor, where he can pick a champion, a weird champion, against these guys and steal wins. And if that happens, then all of a sudden you have a chance to get into 6th place come playoff time as Golden Guardians because you have that factor. As of right now, these 3 teams do not have that factor at all. They're very standard and they stink. So you can't play standard and stink if you expect to get up here. you have to do something special. And Pride Soccer is doing that right now for Golden Guardians. So they're 7th. 6th place and 5th place did not move, so I'll write them both at the same time. FlyQuest and Dig. So I believe I had them 4th or 5th. I gotta double check in my 5th and 6th. Yes, I did. Okay. So FlyQuest beat TSM, lost to TL. There's no fault in losing to TL. You've been getting cute with your drafts to get a couple wins early on. Now you're trying to go back to standard, and I think you still have to be cute. I don't think they're good enough not to be cute. Now, if they can keep beating teams down here with standard, they can stay here come playoff time. But as of right now, that's not really... going 50-50 every week from here on out might be good enough for 6th if you keep taking care of business against these guys. As far as Dignitas goes, took care of business against CLG, lost to EG. But I feel like Dignitas has a lot more to offer than FlyQuest. Very similar in the fact that the jungles are their best player. But Dig have Blue, and Blue is much better than Takuli in my opinion. But you have to consider that. Like, think about that for a second. Both of these teams have weaker top laners, very veteran supports, and 2 import jungler and mid laners. Sorry about that. So the teams are very similarly built. And then you take into account the 80 carries. I think Dig have an advantage in 80 carry. I think that Neo is better than Johnson. So Dig is going to stay above Fly, at least for the time being, in my opinion. Unless FlyQuest continues to get cute with drafts and go out of the box. Then all of a sudden, maybe they can surpass them. 4th place, dropping 1 spot. EG. Beat Dig, lost to 100 Thieves. I feel like there are, like, it's anyone's league right now. Anybody could beat anybody. Early on in the split, that makes sense, but at the same time, I think all these teams are just taking games off each other. And then I have to think about, well, what are the teams that are most established in terms of, like, camaraderie and togetherness, and not even like a cultural standpoint, but more so, who has had more scrim time? Who has had more time together? EG has had a lot. So, losing to 100 Thieves, you got to drop one, for sure. And you're definitely not at C9 or TL level at the moment, because both those teams are not as prepared as you are, like in general, like in terms of the time that they've had playing together. 3rd place, 100 Thieves dropping 2 spots. So 100T lost to IMT. That's not acceptable. For them, that's great. You beat a team up here. You go up. You beat a team that you shouldn't have beat. You should not lose to them. You're dropping because of it. Unlike the LEC yesterday where I did Rogue and I dropped them. Didn't drop them when they lost to Astralis. The difference is there's been 5 or 6 weeks of games where we have seen what Rogue can do. Where we're still early on with the 100 Thieves, and all we know is they lost in lock-in, and now they lost to Immortals, and they're 3-1. So what are they? Are they going to be inconsistent all year? We don't know. We need more weeks, to see what they've got to offer. My nose itches, darn it. Now, BDG, that's a win. That's good. That's a big win against a team that's around your level. 2nd place, not moving, C9. So, C9 are 2nd place. Beat Immortals. Should beat Immortals. Lost to TL. So we're just going to go right into this real fast. TL. TL move up 3 spots. So, these guys lost to them. So we're just going to go right into it. TL beat them at their own game. Without even being really prepared. The coaching staff just said we're going to draft scaling because we don't know what they're going to do. And it worked out for them. And then they did it against FlyQuest, and they beat them. So they beat 2 teams that have been getting cute with weird drafts. Worked out well for them. And C9 still have work to do. The Karthus, draft was good on paper, and in theory, theoretically, it was good. But Blabber could not pilot the champion. Multiple times he screwed up his ultimate, and it lost him the game. If that doesn't happen, maybe these two are switched because, well, C9 can play anything. And they can draft anything, but can they play everything? Right now, no. But as time goes on, that could be an easy yes because the players just play the champions better. They get, comfortable with being uncomfortable, and they can be better. That's kind of like the Whippo thing where he has said before, I prefer to be uncomfortable and find comfort in being uncomfortable in my top lane matchups and making the opposition uncomfortable. And that is the thing, so TL right now are taking advantage of that, and it's working for him. C9 are getting better by the day. And I think both of those guys right now, I don't want to make, I was going to do tiers. But honestly, the tiers right now, I think it's still this. I think it's still this at the moment. Anybody can beat anybody up here. I want to think that these two teams are interchangeable. Like I just said, these guys are interchangeable, but these guys are definitely better than them right now, only because I think that in bot lane they are better. They're built similarly, but this team I think is better than this one in the roles where they I think River is better than Jose. Now maybe Jose, sorry, actually I want to rephrase this. I think River on Dig is better than Jose on Fly. But if you switch them, maybe Jose is better than River. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at it and you say, well, okay, what about Blue? Well, Blue I think is better than Takui. I think he is a little bit better. And then Neo is much better than Johnson. I'm not a big Johnson fan. So that's really the gap there. And then, like I said before, GG. GG is above these three because of the Pride Stalker draft factor. I think that gives them an edge on these guys that really don't have anything cute that they can pick to steal games. So that's my LCS Power Rankings going into week 3. I hope I may have said week 2 earlier. Obviously going into week 3. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And thank you for watching.